Welcome to Design to Shine. We are interviewing Shannon, my co-host, today, and we are going to get to know a little bit about her. We felt it was very important that as we co-create this experience, that we get to share a little bit about our lives with you. Shannon, I know you personally and have gotten to know you for the last year, and you are a tremendous warrior in the aspects of spirituality, family, and I have so much respect and love for you and who you are. And I love that we get to work together because you make me a better person. Getting to know you makes me a better person. And you also make me want to be better and show up better. And when you have those kind of friendships, they cultivate and create such amazing dynamics within your life. Now, I don't know much of your backstory about where you grew up, where you lived, and I would love for you to start from the beginning and just tell us where you grew up.
Oh, thank you, Lisa. I appreciate it so much. And I feel the same way about you. Absolutely. The connection that we have, which to me just made sense to bring us together. It just felt so right and in alignment. Um, a little bit about me. I mean, born and raised in Utah. I have not left Utah. I have traveled the country though. Grew up traveling the US. And so I love seeing new places, learning history. I love learning about why something came to be or what happened. Um,
Do you have a favorite place that you landed in for some time?
that I landed in for some time.
Yeah. Where's your
Not,
favorite place that you kind of ended up in?
I mean, as far as it didn't move anywhere, but as far as visiting, um, one of my, there's a couple places that I've loved. First of all, let me just tell you this piece about me. Um, I love amusement parks. A lot of people complain. They're hot or busy, long lines. I'm like, let's go do the rides. Like I just am an amusement park junkie. So not even just Disneyland. I love Disneyland. Um, I can do roller coasters, fun rides. So that speed's fun for me. One of my most favorite trips, I'll just say, I don't know if that was necessarily a favorite place. I will say one of the most beautiful states I've been through is Tennessee.
Mm.
That has been one of my most favorite states that I've gone through. I'm not sure why I loved it so much. It was just green and maybe, rolling hills. There's just something about it that caught my attention. But one of my most favorite trips that I had ever taken, we started, here in Utah and went back east to, where did we end up? On this particular trip, we went through New York to Pennsylvania, but it was a history type of a trip, and it was a mix of church history and history of different wars that have happened in our country, as well as we did research and we're like, hey, what are some of the best known amusement parks? And so we found the tallest roller coaster in the US and the longest roller coaster in the US. So we made this trip, um, starting in the north, did some church history first, which was so powerful for me. We stopped in Kirtland in Illinois. Illinois was in this part of the state was beautiful. Um, Taught me so much more in depth about my own religion that I can't say I fully had a grasp on. So neat to learn. And then fun along the way of witnessing the different cultures, amusement parks. Um, but we also went through New York, Statue of Liberty. So I got to see that side of it as well as Palmyra, which is another church history. And then we dropped down into Gettysburg in Pennsylvania. And so we were in a motorhome, you guys. We were in a motorhome. So a long time. This was, as you can imagine, a long trip. Um, but a tour guide hopped in our RV with us and took us on this tour of Gettysburg. And I couldn't believe just that era of just that war of what was happening there, what happened in that particular place. Um, I love our country. I love it. I have two sons in the military, and I have a deep love for our country. And so, witnessing that, um, what I have found with my travels in this particular place is, man, the hurt and the challenges that come through of um, fighting for what you believe in, fighting for something better, for good. And sometimes, I mean, as you look through history, there's been a lot of hard and hurt and big challenges. And I think it just, I felt this hurt, the sadness for those families that went through it, and this extreme amount of gratitude in my heart, Lisa, of how far we've come and where we're at as a nation. So, anyway, it wasn't just one place, but that trip specifically comes to my mind just because what I saw all along the way. It was beautiful.
Mm. So, what does Shannon like to do in her spare time? What is Shannon's hobbies?
Oh gosh, my hobby. You know what's funny? So I do. I have a few. Um, I I really enjoy running. I am one of those that has that, what do you call it? I don't know. Those weird people that have fun running. I've heard it called something. I don't know.
We
But
all have our things,
we
right?
we have our thing. But especially, well, and I really have found a love this past year in hiking, which I've always loved the mountains. So that's another piece of me. I enjoy camping. I do not mind getting dirty. I like to get pretty and look nice too, but I can get in the dirt. Um, so backpacking is something that we do every year in hiking. So I have this love though for hiking for fun though and running. And I'm just chuckling because although I love running, I keep getting hurt. And I don't know if that's my body saying, maybe don't run. I don't know, but I haven't decided that that's where it's at yet.
Maybe the question is, how far are you going?
Right.
Maybe run, but not as far.
Not as far. Well, because it was funny. As soon as so I've done a few marathons, several half marathons, and then I did go through a phase where my body was asking me um, a little less, a little less. So I really got into walking. That's where hiking came into play. I love nature, so it gave me a mix of still moving my body, but in a beautiful spaces. So, um, but I had just decided, all right, I'm going to sign up for a half marathon at the end of the summer, and then I pulled my calf muscle. It's like maybe you are, or maybe you're not. So to answer that, yeah, just a little less right now, and not putting a date to anything at the moment. Just work with where I'm at right now. Um, I love doing things with my family. So traveling is something that's just in my blood and I grew up with and is something I've continued to make sure that my own family that we get to do things together. So um, whether it's a church history, amusement parks, camping, whatever it is, it's very, very important for me to bring us all together. Um, Hobbies, and I do like to write. I like to journaling. In fact, Lisa, you are the one that really helped me bring that back, the journaling piece. So I don't know if anyone else has experienced this, but I journaled a lot and went through some of the hardest stages in my life. And for some reason during that time, I stopped writing. Now looking back, sure, it would have been very helpful, but it's okay. I look at it like now it's how it was. I got back into it and I can still share some of those experiences that I experienced during those times. Um,
Journaling is so
yeah,
powerful, and I love the ability it gives you to see where you were at and where you are now,
yeah,
and the things that you were strong in then, and what you were able to add to, and what you let go, and how you moved and how you flow. And so I really love what journaling can do. So I'm so grateful that it was something that was enjoyable for you. Now, you are also a founder and business owner. And
yeah,
tell us a little bit about your business and what it is you do.
right. So, speaking of just going back to hobbies, things that I've done, um, which it is what has led me to my business that I'm working on right now. Um, I've always loved helping people, whether it be a support, guiding, whatever that looks like. I just have found I have this natural gift to be there for someone and just sit and listen, um, and help them to be seen, help them to be heard. And it's just one of those things that would just happen. And I would just not always have answers, but would have a feeling inside of what to share or say next. And as I listened to that, I found that powerful things would happen in those moments. And I discovered that it didn't matter where I was, whether it was work, at home, it didn't matter. That's just a way that I showed up wherever I went. Um, so I was guided a, about 4 years ago. Um, well, let me back up a little bit. So I've been in the coaching industry, Lisa, for like 12 years. It's been at least 12 years, the coaching industry. And I've been guided to a couple different places since then. And 4 years ago, so I grew up on a small farm. We didn't share that with you. I grew up on a small farm. I'm the eighth of 10 kids, and we had horses. So I've always had horses. And now I have six children of my own, five girls, one boy, three are out of the home. And I was guided to go to this place that they use horses and personal growth program together. And I started to work there, and it really opened up for me this desire. And it's a women's only program. So, although I have worked with men and women of all ages, um, this particular program, there's something I started to witness in it. And and it didn't matter the age, but when that individual could find a little piece of purpose in their life, a little piece of recognizing what their gifts and talents were, just seeing it a little bit, how much it caused them to shine. And I watched it open up. Now I want to have a better relationship with my mom. Now I understand how to relate or just be there for my daughter. I started to see these things happen. And so I then created it's events that I've created for mothers and daughters, and it's called You Are the Gift. So I'm the founder of You Are the Gift, and that it just came from recognizing my own gifts and talents and the work I've already been doing. And I could see this need of just bringing them together away from the busy, the chaos, and just come together and have fun, quality time. And I use the word fun because fun is so important. I know I'm on the go a lot, and it's the next thing. We got practice and now a game. And it's like, and let's have some fun in this. And so it was important to me to not have it not only be meaningful, but to bring in that fun into it, to bring that back into our lives and our relationships with one another.
I love that. And as I've watched and we've talked about it, it's been so fun after you've already had one event
Mm-hmm.
to hear the feedback and the things people enjoyed, how you were able to bring your own daughters in and cultivate their talents in order to make this really cohesive
Yeah,
um, event that then was able to be brought to other people, other mothers, other daughters to be touched and to bring them together also. And so it's amazing. Now you do have another event coming up.
I do. Yeah, so June 27th, I have another event coming up. So the name of the events are You Are the Gift. As you if you didn't catch it, the gift of the work I've done where I've been able to help people see the gifts that's within them, not just see it, but believe in them and now go share their gifts with the world. So You're the Gift is the name of the company, but theme for this particular event is Designed to Shine. For this particular event, I'm bringing in fashion into this one. But the purpose of it is I have these professionals. I mean, this is what they do. They're in the fashion industry. And so, although they know how to help individuals to feel beautiful on the outside, for them, they have the same mission as me, as it's just as important to feel beautiful on the inside and to recognize what's inside. And so each of these women, we have fashion and clothing, we have fashion and makeup, fashion and jewelry, just bringing all these elements together, but they all have a beautiful story of um, where they've been and where they were able to recognize what was within them and let that shine on the outside. And so that's the purpose of this. Although it will be fun and the dress up and makeup on the outside, what we really get to learn at this event is to learn what's within us and express that confidently on the outside. I'm just, I just get so excited thinking about it. So, yes, that's June 27th.
So we've talked about the events and you helping other people be a gift to themselves. And the
Mhm.
truth is you are truly a gift to those around you by showing up and aligning with who you are. I know one of your gifts, because you are a coach, is being able to speak truth, right? You very much um, use the spirit in the things and the way that you talk with people. You are very in tuned and aligned with yourself to a place to where when you do meet and you do have those discussions, it feels like things come naturally. How did you get there? How did you become your own gift that you are now able to give to other people?
Lisa, these are such good questions. Exactly. How did I get there? Because it wasn't just there. It wasn't originally just there for me. I definitely, um, Lisa and you and I have talked refiner's fire, I believe is the
Yeah.
phrases we've used before. Have gone through that because there was a time I didn't trust in my gifts or maybe I saw them, but I didn't have enough confidence in myself to believe I should be the one or I could be the one out there sharing it. Comparison came a lot for me for a time there as I was developing some confidence in myself. Um, Thankfully, along the way, although I've gone through phases of self doubt or not enough, and honestly, when that showed up, it was because I was comparing. Oh, I want to be that, but I'm not her. Oh, I could do that, but I'm not him. And so, how do I show up in that way? And it took me a while to realize um, they're great at what they do, and I can be great at what I do. Um,
Yeah.
so,
Comparison is definitely the thief of joy.
oh,
That
absolutely.
it definitely takes away from you. It creates like a shrinking within yourself instead of an expansion of who you could be when you start comparing yourself and those gifts that you were given to someone else for sure.
Absolutely. And it did. It did create a shrinking. And I'll tell you one thing for me, how I've gotten here is even though those kinds of things showed up for me, or I would go through phases of mom guilt, is what I'll call. If I show up in this way, then it's going to take me away from my kids, and but my kids are my most important. When I realize I can have both. In fact, that's powerful for me to show up in this way for, for them to see it. It took me a little bit. Um, Along the way though, I didn't stop giving up on myself. Even if I felt at a very low place. I mean, Lisa, there was a time, it was after I'd had my last, so my sixth, and I got a little postpartum with each of them. I did. And with her, it lasted a lot longer. Yeah, I didn't realize that's what was happening. I thought I was better because it was a different feel this time. And I remember walking in a space in my house and seeing it just destroyed. And I remember walking in, looking at it, going, I know that that needs to be cleaned. And I know that's what I should do. And I had nothing in me to go do it. And I walked right back out and didn't touch it, which wasn't my normal. That wasn't my normal. Like I see something, it's like, hey, let's straighten up, even if it's a little bit. I could do a little bit of that each day. But in this time, there was only a few things I could do. And so when I say I always worked on myself, I did, even during that. Maybe there was a mess in the next room that I still, whether I was reading, so I didn't say this earlier, I do love to read. So whether it was reading or a part of groups that just helped uplift, I've always been a part of something that helped me look forward to. So whether that was a running group or personal growth book group, program, whatever it was. And that really is what helped me step by step. So I'm a big fan of those small and simple steps. What is it? Through small and simple steps. What's the last part of it? Through small and simple steps. I want to say
Use
miraculous things
all things
happen.
are possible, but that's what
That,
I say. I
that's
don't know
what
that
it
that's
is. All
correct,
things,
but all things are
yeah.
possible through small and simple steps. Yeah.
All things, but that's where the miracles happen. That's where miraculous things happen, is through those small and simple steps. And so for me, it was showing up for myself, even if it felt like really hard times. And because I chose to do that, little by little, um, doors started to open. When I started practicing gratitude, gratitude was one of those that I mean, like I described my house. I mean, that moment of that room, that's how I felt inside. Really, that's how I felt inside during that time. When I took the time to express gratitude, it helped just to open up, and I don't know if you can get this visual, but I could just take that space and just move it all. And then I would just have this bright light. And it did. It gave me hope. Gratitude truly was the start of a shift for me that helped me to recognize I had beauty even in the chaos, or beauty in that hard, and I could start to see it. Um, so now, I mean, now fast forward to where I am now. So I know I'm kind of going on this for a little bit because it really has been a process, which that's one thing I could express to anyone watching this. Be patient. Like it really is a process. It was a process. Um, and then the courage to do it. So I remember my first coaching, like real coaching client, I was nervous. I was so nervous. Like, who am I to do this? Okay, let's do it. I'm so nervous. Went through it and was like, okay, that wasn't as bad as I thought. My first speaking engagement, like, okay, again, nervous, stumbled over my words, but it was okay. So it was having the courage to do it anyway, to do it anyway. And through that, that's where it started to shift for me. There's two things here, Lisa. One, I listened to him. And that was one thing that you expressed about me earlier, is to hear him And that's where I was able to shut off the chatter. Okay, but he asked me to do this thing. He believed in me enough to do this thing. And so, however it's going to look, it's going to look. And that was okay with me. That helped me shut off the comparison, put that aside because he asked me to do this and he wants me to do it in my way, not someone else's way. The other piece is to have the courage to act on that. So I was in tuned enough to hear my Heavenly Father, that's how I'll call it. He's my Heavenly Father speaking to me, and then having the courage to do it. And eventually, I mean, He's the one that gave me the confidence to do it and to see it. So as I started listening and acting on that, I was able to shut off all the chatter and the noise of the comparison and not enough, and really be in a place of however I show up today is how I'm meant to show up today. And that's all He wants of me. And that's all you guys need of me.
You know, we've talked a little bit about comparison, about how growth happens, and really, I talked about this in Sunday school the other day, and we talked about how we all are like our own little seeds.
Mm,
Some seeds need a lot of watering. They need a lot of attention. They need a lot of sun.
yeah.
Some live in deserts, some live in cold, some live, in caves. And not every plant needs the same experience in order to expand and to become who they were meant to be.
Ooh, I love that.
And when you look at that and look at how you have to water yourself, or how you don't need that water, you need sunlight, or
Mm,
you need certain elements within your life in order to really cultivate and bring out what you are meant to be and allow it to be okay and not sink into the comparison, you truly see over time those flowers blossom. And we want to think that we're all perennials, right? We're all year round. But at the same time, sometimes our flowers are just seasonal. The things that we
yeah,
learn and we experience, the things that we bloom, the way that we grow, it's for a season. And then we take that and we use that to plant something new.
ooh,
And so
yeah,
when we look at it that way, we are continuously always growing and cultivating into becoming something bigger and greater. And the knowledge that we get during these times of why isn't it going fast enough? And it's because maybe you've overwatered.
mm,
Maybe you just needed sunlight and you've just needed to be for a minute.
yeah,
Maybe you were planting your roots deeper
right,
and getting a stronger foundation for you to break through that soil in order to make you come out. And, we all have that. And what I love and what you've said about postpartum is so relatable as we've all been there. As moms, one of the hardest things we do is come home at times. I have ADHD, never diagnosed until a couple years ago. And I always thought
I
it was a
haven't been diagnosed.
superpower.
No, I'm
Yeah.
like, I diagnosed, but I mean, what
I
mom
wasn't
doesn't?
diagnosed, but my husband's like, you need to go get diagnosed. Like you're done.
I'm like,
You
who
have
doesn't?
ADHD. But the thing is we look at that as being bad because it's not how someone else shows up. And we can look at it and be like, we have postpartum right now. Life looks really crazy and crappy, and yet we can close the door and say, I'm going to stand in the sunshine for a minute longer
Yeah,
because that's okay, and then come back and then address some of those messes. And the nice thing is God gives us grace for a reason.
yeah,
He gives us grace for a reason. He gives us the messes. And more than likely, you probably didn't have to clean up all that mess on your own. More
mm-mm,
than likely, there were other people who came and helped clean that mess. And that is the beauty about community, friendship, love, God,
yeah,
and everything else is He's created us so that we can help each other. So that when
yeah.
the messes come, we're not alone in having to pick that up.
You said I love that, and I will say. Yeah, I mean there's been a few phases. I mean, I've been married 26 years now. Like I told you, I had three out of the home. I mean, we've gone through a lot of stages. Postpartum, employment not going as planned, life, our 10-year plan not going as planned, whatever it was. Um, and in those hardest moments, when you talk about community, I can still remember getting this knock on my door one day, and I go to get it, and it's this older couple in our neighborhood, and it's a fresh baked homemade bread and a pot of soup, homemade soup. And she said, Shannon, God told me you needed this today. And but it's just those kinds of things that showed up all the time, whether it was meal, a text, a walk, whatever it was. They showed up, and it wasn't every day. Those things were not every day. They happen, and but there were moments that helped me to know, oh, he is watching over me. I'm not alone. Um, Sometimes it was hard to feel him, or it was hard to just even know what to do next. But I remember even just sitting on my couch that day, like I don't even know what I'm gonna eat for dinner. What do I even have? And feeling so extremely overwhelmed, and then a knock on my door. So community has been huge throughout this, friendships, huge. And that couple, I knew them. Were we best friends? No. I was so grateful that they had thought of me. And Lisa, there's a quote I want to share with everyone that's listening to this that has really helped me get through moments of when I'm questioning myself in any way. And I've shared this with you before, so you'll know this. But it says, let's see, I am exactly where I am supposed to be. I've always been where I need to be, and I will always be where I am meant to be. And when I say that to myself, it allows me, again, take away comparison, who's already there, here, whatever, doesn't matter where, or sometimes it's not even comparison. I don't know if you found this. Sometimes it's just comparing myself. I used to be able to do that, and now I don't. Now it just looks different.
I gained 5 pounds. I don't know. My pants don't fit.
Right. It just,
Yeah.
searching for where I used to be, the parts of things I loved about myself that changed. And then it's like, no. So this helps me whenever I get hard on myself in any way. It's like, no, no, no. You're right where you're meant to be right now. You're doing exactly what you're meant to be right now. So, anyway, I just wanted to share that.
Well, I mean, I was just going to ask you what advice you could give our listeners that you would feel, they could take away with. And that's what I love about you is like literally, sometimes I don't even feel like I need to say it because you just know it's even with our text messages, listeners, it's so funny. We sit and we'll Marco Polo each other sometimes and it'll be like, hey, I just felt to say this. And it was like, oh, that's funny because I was just going to call you and say this. And it's fun when you get to work with people who um, they listen,
Yeah.
and that takes time. That was not something I always did, and it's something that I still struggle in doing in some aspects of my life.
Right.
And uh, learning to align with yourself and your higher power and
Yeah.
whatever that is for you, for us, it's our Heavenly Father and you know Jesus Christ. And
Yeah.
so it's fun when you see that, and even those that are not within our religion who do that, who have those experiences because they are lined with living a life singular to God.
Yeah. Singular with God. And I would like to add just that advice question. First of all, that quote, I mean, write it down. Hopefully it helps you how it has me. It's been a powerful one for me. And You talked about grace a few minutes ago. And if that's one thing I could put out there is to give yourself grace because you're the gift that I created. When I first got the idea of that, um, I didn't have my first event until 2 years later. So the first time I got the idea of it, and so I'm someone when I hear something like that, so that experience for me, one of these days we'll talk about it on our podcast. But it was very clear. And when I get a clear answer, because they don't happen very often, a clear answer doesn't happen very often. It's like, I'm going to give you a little bit now. Go have some faith and just test it out. And it won't steer you away for too long, right? But this one was like I heard it and I could see it in my mind. And so I'm like, all right, let's go do this. Let's go do this. And it just wasn't coming together. And I was guided to certain people to work with. There was these things happening. And yeah, it still didn't feel right. Still didn't feel right to go in the direction I was being, um, what's the word? Whatever, guided to, the things that we were talking through. And so I put it on the back burner for a minute. I just kind of stepped away altogether for a minute and just feel like, okay, maybe it's just not the time to worry about it. So a little time goes by, and then I decide, wait a minute, I know what I felt that day. I know what I felt, and I need to bring this forward. So I started working on it again, and it wasn't coming together. So I was in prayer, just asking, I don't understand. Um, there's this thing you've shown me, yet it's not happening. And what I heard right then was so powerful. And it was because you still have more to learn, because you still have more to learn, and you're already doing it. So when you talked about the plants and the seeds, Lisa, sometimes it's getting deeper rooted. It's learning,
Yeah.
it's growing. That's what was happening for me. So although we might get inspired to do something, it doesn't mean it's right that second. It might be learning that has to happen along the way. And when I had that experience, I was able to sit back and see, well, if you're telling me I'm already doing it, how? And I was able to see. So when you going back to that question, how did you decide to use your gifts and actually learn to use them? Well, because what I was able to sit back and see, I didn't realize how much of a gift it was until I heard that. And then I sat back and I was like, wow, this is what I'm doing. This is how I do it. And I could see the difference it was making. And then as soon as that all came together, then it was go time. So then I put together my first event. Beautiful, fun, learned a lot from it. And the crazy thing is now I'm doing another one and I've got more planned of what we're going to be doing. Still scary. It's still kind of scary. But my point is with all that is again going back to be patient with your process because sometimes there's learning all along the way that's important for our development, before the big thing happens. And I mean, and the truth is I was touching lives along the way already. And he needed me to see that and recognize that in myself. Then I was able to truly blossom.
And it's partly mindset.
Yeah.
It's learning when that fear comes in that you do it anyways. And
Yes.
that scared they say that anxiety or being scared is on the same frequency as excitement.
Yeah.
And so if we learn how to start shifting some of that to have the things we're scared about being what we're excited about at the same time and letting them be inclusive to each other, we realize that part of the scarcity is the excitement of doing something new,
Mm.
something that's changing and that is growing us, which we know when we don't use our muscles, they atrophy. They don't continue to work the way they're meant to. And so everything you've done in your journey has brought you to where you've been able to one, I know you've strengthened your body. You've strengthened your mind. You've done the things that are necessary in order for you to align with God. And then in turn, you have prepared yourself for what has been told you to come next. And that to me is the most beautiful thing a woman, a man, or anyone can do.
Yeah,
And it's all about surrender, right?
right.
Not our timing, God's timing, knowing you're exactly like just like your quote, you're exactly where you are meant to be in this moment.
Yeah,
And know that if you believe that and you continue to walk forward, not knowing how it will work out, there's power in that.
yeah,
There is power in that. There's power in the knowledge that this could be something great and beautiful and the more you believe that and whatnot, it does come true.
yeah, it does. And I talked a little bit about my family. Um, for me, I always wanted to be a mom. That was never a question for me. And, then I got to be a mom, and there's challenges in motherhood. Like it's beautiful, hard, that all at the same time. It's everything. Um, and I thought I would have all these boys. Although I come from a big family, I was raised in between my brothers. So I thought I had all these boys, and I have five girls and one boy. So I'm like, all right, I guess I'm meant to learn how girls work. I know I'm female. Um, anyway, where I'm going with this though is um, I have absolutely been able to find joy in motherhood and my work. That is one of my callings. It's not my only calling, it is one of them. And I have been able to find joy in all that He has asked me to do. And it has been my biggest dream to include my kids in what I'm doing. And they get to have a part in this. My first event, everything we created had a piece of them in it. This next event, what I'm creating was because of some of the things they shared they'd love to see. So whether you see them out there speaking or not, I am literally living this dream of not only do I get to help women, girls, young women, my girls get to see a piece of it and do it alongside with me while they can, whatever that looks like for them. So just like a huge blessing, win-win for me that I just get so excited about.
Shannon, it has been so good to get to know you more, hear more of your story, hear your insights on life. And I just thank you for honoring us with your time and your talents and just speaking. So thank you. And I look forward to many, many, many more conversations like this within Design to Shine. Um, I'm going to let you close it up. So if there's anything else you want to add before we go from our listeners, I'll give you that time.
Thank you, Lisa. I feel like I've shared everything. No, I feel like I've shared everything. But I'll just close. I'll close with this that um, every single one of you has a purpose. Every single one of you has gifts, and I just want you to remind you that that looks different for all of us. And don't forget that as I've talked about small and simple themes, small and simple steps, some of those gifts, I think of one of my daughters, she literally has the gift and ability to see the one sitting alone. That is a gift. Another gift of empathy, just like me. She is aware of others' feelings and just is the best gift giver because of her awareness of others. So I just want you to know that there's beautiful things in each of you, and you might not think that they're gifts, but they are. Whether it's a gift of kindness, of just being a friend, being able to listen, a great gift giver, spending quality time, whatever it is, Every single one of you have something that's beautiful, and they all matter. They all matter, and they all make a difference. Just like the couple bringing me dinner. That was a gift that they were able to listen and hear and acted. So know that each of you have a purpose, each of you have a gift. And as you continue here with us, with Lisa and I hope that you get to learn from us, want to grow yourselves into the beautiful individual that you are. I know that it can come as you keep showing up for you. And that's key. Keep showing up for you. You will, even on bad days. And if you miss a day, oh well, get back up again the next day. You can do it.
Thank you so much. And we are off for the day, and we look forward to seeing you in our next episode.
Thank you, Lisa.